Hi, my name is Cassandra Bazile, and I'm a scientist at JDRF. My role at JDRF is a scientist under the Disease Modifying Therapies program area, where I'm focused on developing immune therapies that can halt, prevent, or delay type 1 diabetes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Courtney Ackeifi. I'm also a scientist in the research department at JDRF. I work in the Improving Lives group, which focuses on people with established type 1. So we focus on drugs and devices for glucometabolic control and long-term complications and the psychosocial burden of type 1.
Great, great. Yeah. So Courtney,
Who's going to go first?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Cassie, how'd you get interested in science?
Yeah, so I've been interested in science through my upbringing. My mom is a nurse, so I've always had exposure to like the healthcare field, and I always had an interest in understanding how the human body worked. So, from when I was a little kid, I would like volunteer at the hospital where my mom worked, and then when I got into college, I majored in biology, and there I was exposed to like several like different labs on campus. And I saw opportunities to work in these labs. And that's how I was introduced to, what scientists do, how they pose a question and they do different experiments to answer the questions. These questions can be geared towards a multitude of things like the environment, but I was particularly interested in questions that involved like the human body and disease. So from there, I went to graduate school and studied immunology and how B cells cause disease, lupus. And from there, I, started my role at JDRF. How about you? What started your interest in science?
Yeah, like I think it's similar. I think seventh grade science teacher, eighth grade, I think it was eighth grade science teacher, worked part-time in a research lab. And one day, like one evening, she called my parents to say, I think Courtney should skip school tomorrow and come with me to the lab instead of going to school. And we did that. Like we went to her research lab at UConn, and I got to see what science was like, the daily, feeding of cells and, doing running a gel and asking the questions. But I saw her, it was such a different experience of seeing this teacher outside of the classroom and the command she had over her experiments. It made me I could do that. Like it really was an inspirational moment for me. And so from there, I was a big, like very baby scientist then. I went on to college and studied biochemistry, and then grad school, and I studied biophysics and pharmacology, and because I really wanted to focus on um, uh, making people live healthier lives in some way. And I could do that with, before I was doing that with test tubes and pipettes, and now I get to do that with our team at JDRF.
So cool. It's so cool. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of like diversity in science, whether that be women or different ethnicities?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's an accident that, my teacher, saw me in my science classes, and I was really deferential to the other kids, letting them take the lead. And she was a Black woman. She's frankly the only Black female teacher I have, like science teacher I've ever had. And she said, no, Courtney, you can do this maybe better than your classmates, and wouldn't let me take a back seat, and said, Courtney, you have to see yourself in this space. And I think that was critical to my development and seeing that people like me can do this. Yeah.
I agree completely. I went to a historically Black college, and a lot of the professors that I had were people of color, whether it be from India, whether it be Black. They were doing science, running their own labs, and
Right.
that opened my eyes to see that I can do this.
Yeah.
I think being a woman in science, of course, comes with its challenges, but it also it also leads to a lot of like community and relationship building as
Yeah.
well, because we support each other, which is
Yeah.
great. And I think, diversity is important, not only to bring up other scientists, but to also lead to more diverse thinking and problem
Exactly.
solving in the field.
And I think we see this every day. Women's health in particular is not hasn't been at the forefront of scientific discovery. And I think, surprise, more women enter the field, and now there's like a renaissance of, menopause health and related health, and just women's focus, autoimmunity. We just had that cool study about how cool, we'll say, is that cool? We'll see, it's cool. But
Yeah.
like how women are far more likely to have autoimmune diseases. And I think those types of studies, like looking at some of these gender differences, like wouldn't have been done if there weren't women in the rooms.
Most definitely. All right. Well, thank you, Courtney, for talking to me about how you got interested in science and the importance of women in science as well as diversity.
You too, Cassie. See you on Monday.